November, Nicaragua will hold presidential elections. In recent months, the Ortega government and its accomplices have passed a series of laws aimed at criminalizing political activity in the country and undermining prospects for a free, fair, and transparent election. Furthermore, continuous attacks against independent media outlets in the country and a wave of human rights abuses in the interior of the country show a regime intent on intimidating its citizens. It's an effort to predetermine the outcome in November. Tomorrow, I'll lead a new bipartisan legislation, the Renacer Act, in the Senate that will send a clear signal about the Ortega regime's corrupt and human rights violations and define a coordinated international strategy for advancing democratic elections in Nicaragua. Can you both speak to us about the closing political space in Nicaragua and what type of steps the international community needs to take to avoid the rise of a third dictatorship in the hemisphere?
For your leadership on this issue, I'm extremely concerned about what I call the authoritarian architecture, which the Ortega regime is currently constructing. In the last several months, starting in about September or October of last year, we saw a cascade of legislation going through the National Assembly. First, it was the Foreign Agents Law, meant to basically shut down. And then there was also the opposition, the law against the democratic opposition in the country, which basically makes it illegal for members of Nicaraguan society who have called for sanctions and pressure on the Ortega government to run for and hold office in Nicaragua. I think as well we need to consider sanctioning the Nicaraguan military. We've done the national police last year, but the military was also involved in some of the same human rights abuses for which the national police were sanctioned as well. There's a very lucrative investment fund that goes by the acronym IPSM, IPSM, which many of the high-level officials in the Nicaraguan military are involved in. I know that some of the assets are exposed to the New York Stock Exchange and other elements of the United States financial system. We should go after those. If they're still at risk, we should consider seizing them or sanctioning them. But when it comes to the democratic opposition, I think that we need to place an importance on a legitimate organizing process, primaries, a process out of which there will be consensus about the candidate to face Ortega and his wife Rosario Murillo, because that's really the lesson for me from the 1990 elections that saw the election of Violeta Chamorro, was that there was a consensus that came out of a proper organizing process among the opposition.